welcome to my channel. I'm Dani Walker. This is my NAMM Nationals 2019 recap. If you're new, please be sure to subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you don't miss out on any new episodes, as well as follow me on social media at Dani Walker. Let's get right into it. This is one of our last NAMM Nationals that is going to be held in California, and then next year's the last, and then they move over to Florida. So there's definitely some feelings of nostalgia when it comes to recapping one of the last NAMM Nationals that'll be held in California. It brings back lots of memories for me as a contestant, and I'm really excited to see the new changes though as they move to a new venue in 2021. I think that's going to be really exciting to see. I've heard lots of great things about that venue. This year's competition, I was honestly really impressed. I know that I did last year's recap and a lot of people were telling me, wow, you were so harsh on this recap. And I don't know, I just had, I guess, a different expectation last year for the level of competition. And then this year I was like, wow, ladies, y'all stepped it up. I was super excited. So things in terms of wardrobe, hair, makeup, routines, all of that stuff I felt like overall improved. I wasn't able to watch every single competition because a lot of them go on simultaneously. If you've never been to NAMM, that's quite common because there are so many divisions. First thing I want to talk about is the runway competition. I watched the younger contestants as well as the older contestants actually compete in runway, and the little ones were so cute. And I want to talk about wardrobe and outfits. So I know that it's really difficult for a lot of parents to find runway outfits, and what I like about NAMM's runway competition is that we don't just see outfits with overskirts and capes making it into a top 10 and into a top 5, which I absolutely love. But if you are looking for something like that, parents, it's not going to be easy to find these pieces, and typically they are going to be custom, or a lot of parents will take an outfit that fits their child and suits them well, and they will add and they will customize an already pre-made outfit. So that is an option for you, but if you are looking for something very specific that you might see in my NAMM Nationals vlog, then a lot of those pieces are going to be custom. So don't get frustrated when you're looking for them online and you're like, I can't find anything like this. It's probably because it doesn't actually exist. I sat in on a runway workshop and I listened to the 4 things that the judges were looking for to give you guys some ideas of how you can prepare for your runway competition. The first one is that you follow the walking pattern and hit the marks that you were asked to hit. By the way, if you're watching on a mobile device, make sure that you screenshot this episode, post it to an Instagram story, and tag me at Dani Walker to let me know what you thought. The next thing is that you hold your poses. They also want you to incorporate a sassy face. So this is more of a serious look. It's not an angry look or a look that's too fierce, but it's definitely not a big open mouth smile look for any of the divisions. And lastly, they want contestants to keep their eyes ahead, just like a normal runway show. You're not supposed to be scanning and looking at the judges during the runway competition. I saw a lot of the casual wear competition for different age divisions, and overall I thought that the outfits were really great. I would really suggest, if you are a new contestant, to check out my past vlogs and see some of the outfits that are featured in the casual wear competition so that you have a better idea of what contestants are wearing, because it's not just the walk and just the wardrobe and just the hair and the makeup. It's all of those things combined that help you to get into a top 5. So if first you walk on stage, you could have the best walk ever, and if your outfit is not up to par with the typical standard for a NAMM National casual wear outfit, then it's going to be really difficult, if not impossible, for you to place in casual wear. So before we even think about anything, you want to really focus in on that outfit. So check out some of those examples in some of my other past vlogs and recaps. I didn't watch too much of the talent competition, but one really interesting one that I liked seeing was a girl who was in the top 5 and she hula hooped, and I think that that's actually a really great example of a skill that you can gain, especially for pageants like the Miss America system where they require a talent. It's difficult to pick up a talent like singing or dancing if that's not something that you can naturally do, and usually those things take years of practice. But I think a great example of a talent that you can pick up would be something like hula hooping, and you can get really creative with it, and I'm sure that there's lots of YouTube tutorials for it I also saw a girl that did a combination of this sort of like circus routine, so it was really cool. She was balancing plates on sticks and like balancing on this ball just like you would in a circus, and I thought that that was a really creative talent. Once again, that's something that I think that you can learn over the course of a year if you really want to enter a talent competition and you're like, I can't sing and I've never danced before. So you can get really creative with those talents, and I like seeing that. Also want to mention that there was a little girl that actually wore a cookie costume. She sang a song about Girl Scout cookies, which I thought was hilarious, and she ended up winning the national talent competition. So sometimes getting really creative like that, you can compensate for maybe not having, you know, like the best voice or the best technique. And I would say I definitely use that. Like one of my strengths was just how I can entertain and my facial expressions and my theatrics on stage. So even if I wasn't the most trained singer, I was still always able to place in that top 5 or win a talent competition just because I played on my other strengths. So think about that when you're preparing for talent. I want to touch on wardrobe just a little bit, specifically with custom pieces that I did mention. A lot of girls are going the custom route because there aren't that many options every season for really great pageant wardrobe, and they want to be different and original. So here's my suggestion. If you have someone making your custom wardrobe pieces, order them a size up from what you normally are. And you want to order it a size up from your largest measurement. So we're talking about bust, waist, and hips. And for every girl, that's going to be different. Everybody is going to have a different largest measurement. So I would say figure out what your largest one is. Just use a measuring tape and then order one size up from the largest measurement. And then after you get your custom piece of wardrobe, take it to a great alterations company. The money that you can potentially save from a custom piece of wardrobe that's made from someone, let's say like in your hometown or online, can be a lot of money. So take the money that you save and put that into alterations. Now, if you go somewhere and you're having a custom couture piece made from someone, say like Sherry Hill, then typically those pieces are going to fit you like a glove when you get them. But for everyone else who doesn't have those resources or thousands of dollars to spend, if you're going custom, make sure you're going to invest in those alterations. One specific piece of wardrobe that I noticed needs a lot of help for every age division is jumpsuits, specifically the length. So if a jumpsuit is cut too short for your torso, then it's going to ride up. And if it's cut too long for actually, I would say your chest or the rest of your torso, then it's going to sag. And that's the first thing that I was noticing when girls were walking on stage in a jumpsuit for the personal introduction competition. My eyes were going straight to the wrong place, and that's not a good thing. So pay attention to the fit of your jumpsuits if you want to go for one. If there is a seam line in the middle of it, actually like mine has right now, I'll show you. If there's a seam, make sure that it's sitting on the smallest part of your waist, that it's not too high or it's not sitting too low, because that looks really strange on stage. Another fit issue with jumpsuits, like I said, is this neck portion. So I see a lot of contestants wearing a jumpsuit and this part is actually too long, and a simple alteration that can be made is you can actually just get this taken up from the neck right here, if there is your little banded neckline, and you can have them detach this, shorten it, and reattach it, and then that solves the bodice issue. If you are loving this recap so far, comment NAM down below. Tell me if you competed at NAM this year or if it's your goal to get there for next year. Let's talk about Queen's competition, starting with personal introduction. Ladies, please, please, please plan ahead and memorize that personal introduction. This year, I didn't hear anybody going over time with that personal intro, but I did see a lot of contestants, unfortunately, forget their personal introduction on stage. Make sure you're putting in that practice and that you know that intro like the back of your hand. Something that I did not expect this year was during personal introduction, there were a lot of contestants who were not standing in their model stance, and that's something that we instruct contestants to practice at open calls and prep sessions. So that's something very, very basic that the judges are told to look for when a girl is doing a personal introduction. So ladies, make sure that as soon as you take that microphone that you practice standing in that model stance. It was very distracting to see contestants standing with their legs apart on stage. It just looked really, really weird. By the way, if you are preparing for your next NAM pageant, just click the description below. I do also offer other coaching resources and services that you can get more info about in the description. Gowns overall this year really impressed me. I thought that they were more age appropriate, that the fit of the dresses were much better. Obviously, a gown is not being judged, but it does affect your score because it affects how great you look on stage. It's really about what a gown brings to you and how it enhances you as a contestant. Like I said though, overall I think that they looked a lot better on stage. I think that the gown routines and the walking pattern that everybody was following was starting to look a lot better as well. A few years ago when they changed it and allowed for girls to have more freedom on stage, and which they're not doing anymore, they're not allowing girls to do a circle turn or a pivot or just do a pose. They've made it a lot more consistent, and I think that that's helped contestants a lot. It's made it a lot easier. The only thing I saw some contestants forget was to stop at the first X after they left their escort. So I'm not sure if that affects their scoring at all. It might if a judge is being a real stickler on that. Aside from that, I thought the gown went over very well for everyone. I actually didn't see too many girls walking too fast. I think that's always been a really big issue, but for me it was mostly, if I were judging, there were quite a few girls whose arms were floating in the air as they were walking during gown. Pay really close attention to that. You want to walk with some relaxed arms and hands during formal wear, and also keep that smile really genuine and sincere. Now, aside from that, let's move on to onstage question. I was super impressed. I watched all of the All-American and National American Miss contestants compete in onstage question, and I was just blown away. All of them were really natural and they had so much personality. Ladies, job very well done. I was super impressed. And then I heard lots of great things from the younger contestants. So if you guys didn't watch online, don't quote me directly on this. The new National American Miss Princess, they asked her something along the lines of what's been your favorite part of nationals, and she said getting called into the top 12 was awesome. And then she said, and when that guy sang to me and holded my hand, and she was referring to the NAM entertainer that sings to all of the contestants, and apparently that was hilarious and the cutest thing ever. It was sort of this really great moment, and it really demonstrated her personality, and everyone was talking about her answer on stage. I also heard for other younger divisions, like in preteen divisions, that there were some mic drop type moments for those onstage questions. So I'm super excited that NAM actually added this and allows all of the contestants to participate in onstage question, because I think it's really great preparation for moving on to other systems like Teen USA, America, Miss USA, Miss Earth, Miss World, all of those things that require some sort of onstage question. Those are my thoughts for this year's NAM Nationals. Tell me what you guys thought about NAM, if you watched it online or if you attended yourself. Also, if you're getting ready for your state pageant, I'm literally already taking on clients for state pageants this year, which is really exciting. I love when girls are really adamant about preparing early, and I think that preparation plays a really big role in the results for those state pageants. So if you guys need some help with your state pageant, just click the description below and you'll find my website. You guys can get more information about coaching through there. And also, if you guys wanted some more help for your formal wear competition, then just click that description. You're gonna find a link that you can download my free gown guide that'll help you go shopping for your next dress, just as a little bonus for coming back to the channel and watching this episode. I hope that you really enjoyed this recap, and you'll come back for more by subscribing and hitting that notifications bell, as well as following me and keeping up on social media at Dani Walker.